Oh, it just says we're live. No, I set it so that the server that we're going to be using is New York, by default. So we're not gonna have issues with. I don't think it's gonna even search for servers anymore. We should be live now.
All
Hold
right,
on a
I'm
moment.
refreshing my page at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah. So actually, hold on. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should turn the volume down on my TV a little bit. Okay. But anyway, just in case we are live, hey everybody, it's the Hyrule Warriors Grindfest Super Show. We're the Grindfest brothers, and grinding's our game. We're not
I'm
like the
nobody's
others
brother.
that get all the fame. When your level's in trouble, you can call us on the double.
I don't play this game.
Do the Grindfest. Swing your arms from side to side. Right, Catherine?
Sure.
Okay. All right, now that I'm done embarrassing myself for the day, let's get started. Welcome back to the Grindfest. I don't know what was up with the game being laggy there for a moment. Welcome back to the Grindfest. If you don't know what we're doing here yet, you probably have missed like the past like 2-3 dozen streams we've done up till this point. So, that's cool. I love newcomers. Anyway, we're grinding up everybody to level 255 because that's how we roll around here. So, yeah. Anyway, today's grinding recipient is, well, we've got Darunia, Rudo, and Wizro left out of the pre-DLC characters, and I still need to get the DLC people up to be ready to grind it on stream because you don't want to watch 204 levels of me grinding Tingle. But I've also been trying to get the Cocoa missions done off screen as well, so that's been taking a while. And since Catherine's been waiting forever for me to do this character, we're gonna do Darunia today.
Yay! I like
Uh,
Darunia. He's silly.
what costume would you like for Darunia?
Goron mask.
Okay, I knew that was coming.
You
Oh,
knew it.
yeah.
You had to know that was
Oh, wait,
coming.
hold on. I pressed the wrong button. Okay, my bad. Okay, now we gotta select the mission again. Yeah. Okay, yeah, for some reason, Elgato does not like it when I select the mission on the overworld map for some reason. Okay, hold on. Oh, his legendary weapon has EXP up. That's great. Anyway, we've been doing the Dark Fi mission a lot lately because we've been using dark elemental characters. But since we're doing Darunia today, who's fire elemental, it really doesn't matter which one we choose because he's super effective to neither. So I'm going back to Ganondorf for just some sense of variety. So yeah,
In the Grindfest.
that mask looks so goddamn stupid.
I know, right? It's hilarious.
Anyway, if you haven't been paying attention to us on Twitter, which you should because we're great, um, um, a certain person here has recently just started playing something they've owned for about a good 8 months. So,
Okay, that objection. I have not owned it for 8 months. I've
uh,
owned it for like 3.
still, like, come on.
Hey, it was still not a true fact, therefore I could object.
Okay, well, anyway, Catherine just started Ace Attorney 5, and by just
No
started,
spoilers.
I mean
No
like
spoilers.
10 minutes ago, just started. So,
Yeah.
please don't be a dick. Uh,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm having a feeling that we're probably going to be in a little bit of an Ace Attorney mood
Yeah. Yeah.
over the next couple of over this Grindfest. So you can't really probably over the next couple of Grindfest because Ace Attorney 5 is one of the longest Ace Attorney games. I think it's
Yeah.
probably the longest, especially if you include the DLC case. So yeah.
Should I play the DLC case?
The DLC case is the best case in the game, so yeah, you should.
Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of sad, actually.
A little bit, but it's Capcom. You have to hold them to a lower standard. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Well,
but
you have to pay for the alternate DLC costumes. Since I bought the game right when it launched, I think I got Phoenix's classic clothes, Apollo's casual outfit, and Athena's schoolgirl outfit for free. But since you bought it late, you're gonna have to pay for that. I don't know how much it is.
seriously, it doesn't
Yeah.
come with the. I thought you said it comes with the DLC after you beat the case. I thought you said
It,
you
it
get it.
might no. After you beat the case, you get Phoenix's Trials and Tribulations sweater. After you
Oh
beat the
yes,
DLC case,
the
I should
stupid
say.
sweater.
Yeah, because in Japan, I believe, the sweater came with a different bit of DLC, which was like some kind of quiz thing. I'm not really sure about that.
Oh,
Um,
I remember you told me it had like it was basically a lot of Japanese culture stuff that there
yeah.
was no way like that
So they
they would
just
have had to do it
so they
completely.
just put it so they just put it in with the with they just put it in with the DLC case. And I think that's it when it comes to DLC. Honestly, like you don't really need to buy the extra costumes. They are not worth it. Like it's probably
But
like $3, or I
but
think.
Apollo's casual clothes and
Oh
Athena
my
in her
gosh,
schoolgirl uniform.
you are such a fangirl. It is not even funny.
You know, I partly do it because I know you're just like you don't get it.
Like you could spend that money on literally anything else. You could buy a
That is the
sandwich.
definition of money. Money can be exchanged for goods and services.
You are not helping right now,
This has
okay?
been Economics 101 with your co-host, Catherine.
That's Catherine with a Q, by the way.
Indeed.
People have stopped asking like what your actual. No, actually they haven't, because I remember seeing on a comment recently on the on the show that people were like, "What is Catherine?" And they spelled that Catherine with a Y.
Yeah, for the record, people, I no offense to those out there who are Catherine with a Y, but to me that is inferior Catherine.
Well, that's
Like
kind
it's
of
not your
like.
fault.
Well,
It's
that's
not your fault if your parents gave you that name, but it just is like it's trying too hard to be edgy.
well, it's kind of like naming your kid Brandy with a I. It's kind of like what, like, yeah. So that's just what I think anyway. You can have your own wrong opinions as much as you want.
How are you? Check your drop frames because the stream stuttered for a little bit, but it's
I've
still
got none. I've
okay.
got none. It's
Yeah. So
it's
sorry guys if there was a stutter, which I kind of saw that too for a second.
were
It was
people
on
talking up?
Twitch's end. I think what it might have been was adding the quality options because mine has suddenly dropped.
Oh, okay. I've been
So
a lot of people who it's kind of weird actually for a lot of people I follow Shadow Mario 41 and for some reason when he uploads his stream replays they're always cut whenever the quality options come on for some reason, and I don't know why that happens. Like why it just makes things go to shit. For it's just it's strange, and I
it
really
probably just has to do with of like how the data is processed.
it must cause like a cut in the like when in whatever's recording the I've never had that problem on my end though. Like the only time my stream gets cut, like my stream replay gets cut, is when the entire stream goes down. Like so, yeah, I'm not really sure like what causes it, but whatever. Um, but yeah. Oh yeah, I should just let you know if you. I'm not gonna be. I don't. If again, this is mostly if you're new or if you haven't been around in a while and forgot. I can't really look at I can't really look at the chat much because while this is pretty mindless, it is something that requires me to have my eyes on the TV at all times. So that's where my good buddy Catherine here comes in. And oh god, I did actually take a look at the chat, and people are arguing about Sonic Adventure. So I'm just going to ignore you guys for a while.
Oh,
But
someone brought that up as a joke with a Kappa face. So
no, people are actually arguing about it, like in the chat though. So, like, we're gonna be not. I'm not really not in the mood to talk about Sonic right now. That takes too much energy. So, but if you have anything else that you'd like to ask us or whatever, my good buddy Catherine here is watching the chat and making sure that you all behave yourself. So be good. And if you have like a question or anything, we might answer it. We try to do that occasionally. Occasionally, we also get distracted, like when I make fun of Catherine and how she doesn't do science a lot.
do all the science. Someone asked about impressions on FNAF World.
I don't know
I
what that is, to be perfect. Do you
oh
know?
you okay? All I know is like
All I know is that there's the picture with all the different animatronics. So
I mean all I know is it sounds like Scott Cawthon is going to be doing something different with the same characters, and I'm open to that. Like I really respect the guy. You know, I have, for the record, I have not played any of his games because that is just not the kind of game I would want
Because
to
you're a
play.
wuss. Blah blah blah
I
blah.
but I totally respect the guy for like, you know, I just respect him so much for coming from making like very niche Christian Christian games,
Oh
and
yeah.
then making something that took off like so well.
It's like
And
the
you know,
best example of constructive criticism too, because like people were like, your characters look really creepy, and he took that,
yeah,
it's like, you know, like he seems like a really nice guy, I think is the best way
he
for me to put
does.
it.
You know, without ever having like heard him in an interview or anything, I just feel like everything he said, it just does seem like he's a really nice guy.
Yeah,
And
I've read some of his, like he's posted some posts about like how he feels, like he seems like such a grateful, dedicated guy, and I also think that he also hasn't been like, you know, buying a yacht or whatever with the money he's made. He also seems like he's being very responsible too, which
yeah,
is you know, another good thing, because like
yeah,
it's very easy to ride a wave of success and then end up worse than when you started off if your thing blows up like this. So yeah.
definitely,
So
yeah.
do you know
So
like what kind of
I'm
game it
glad for
is?
him that he's found a way to kind of continue with this kind of universe that he's created while doing something slightly different. Because I think honestly, I'm glad to see he at least somewhat has realized like either he's tired of doing kind of spins on the same thing, or that the audience is probably gonna get tired of it eventually. So I'm really glad that he wasn't just like, all right, this is a one and done thing and I'm out. Send me my royalty checks. It's like he does want to stick with it. So I think that's really cool.
Um, isn't well apparent well, I will like to say that apparently Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is really really scary. So like I think he did end on a high note. But isn't that game supposed to have DLC? Or
Yeah, yeah. It's very, so I think what it sounds like at the very end of the game, if you basically beat like super insane hard nightmare mode, you are shown a box with two little locks on it, and if you mouse over the locks, they kind of jiggle, but it won't open. And people have tried hacking into, like, people have tried like data mining it basically to see if you can get it, and you can't. Um, and then it displays a message that says something like, maybe some things are best left forgotten for now.
okay,
um,
so
but
it's
he said he's thinking of not showing what's in the box.
oh, so just
But
like so just cock blocking every fan of
pretty
the.
much, yeah. And so what he said was that what he's going to try to release as on October as free, like a free DLC, would be some kind of demo or thing for FNAF World. Um, so I'm not sure entirely what he's going to do, and maybe there's more news about it that I don't know of. But um, but yeah, so I mean, I'll definitely watch when SGB does the FNAF thing.
I still haven't watched a playthrough of FNAF 4. Mostly just
It's
because no, mostly just because I can't find a good one. Like um and like
Yeah,
I'm
I know you really dislike face cam. I
yeah,
don't care because I don't look at the screen enough to
well that's
care if
cuz
Markiplier's
again,
face is on the corner.
wuss. But
Yeah.
it's mostly just like I also don't want, like I've seen so many let's plays where people are all like, if you watch my other video, I explain the lore behind this thing. Like there's so many people who clearly do it to cash in, I think, as well, on it being a popular game. So I also, and I have an instinctive knee-jerk bad reaction to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So like I would just
What I
kind of
will say
like
about
oh, go on, go first.
what I think is in defense of like say Markiplier in particular. I mean, from my understanding, he's always done these kind of a lot of indie horror games. So for him, it wasn't like I'm gonna do it because it's popular. In
Oh,
fact, I think it was kind of the
no,
opposite. He
no,
really popularized it.
yeah, Markiplier. I game theory kind of can occasionally be full of shit, but they did do a good
Can we
video.
not talk about game
No, but
theory
I'm
and
talking like, but they did.
I hate it.
No,
that.
I'm not talking about
Okay.
this video I'm referencing of theirs actually has nothing to do with FNAF, but it's like
Okay, cool.
something to the effect of how PewDiePie got popular, and I hate him too, but basically to the same, like how PewDiePie got Flappy Bird popular, I think it was like because he played the game and then like maybe not everybody watches him, but enough people watch him to do a video of the game themselves, and then it spreads like that. It's the same kind of thing with Markiplier, where he might not have been the first person to do a video on FNAF, but he was the first really big person, and then that probably inspired other people who are maybe not quite as big, but still pretty big, and it spreads like a virus from there. So
Yeah.
yeah, to be honest, I haven't watched much of anything that Markiplier has done. So I'm sure he's a nice enough guy. I just have not seen anything he's done, so I can't tell whether or not his videos are good or bad. They're just kind of a thing to me so
Yeah.
far. So
Yeah, I will say, while I haven't watched much of Markiplier's stuff, from seeing like seeing what he does on like social media and stuff, he seems like another like just really nice guy. Like he did this. I think he did. I'm not sure if it was Make a Wish but he did like if it was through some other thing. But he spent a day with like this kid who like this really sick kid, and helped the kid set up his own YouTube channel.
oh man,
And everything.
that's sweet.
That's super sweet of him. He's
Brain
going.
Scratch
I
Combs never
remember I
gets a
checked
Make a
recently.
Wish.
Huh?
Brain Scratch Combs never gets a Make a Wish. Then again, we're also assholes, so.
Yeah. To be fair, Markiplier also has like 8 million subscribers.
We could be there someday if we believe. Okay.
You can.
We can. I'm not sure
You
how
can.
I'm not sure how to handle this whole love and support thing. It's really weird. Go back to being snarky.
All right. I don't think you can do it.
Oh, okay. See, there we go. That's
This
familiar.
is me every day in lab.
Okay, but anyway, yeah, that's really sweet to do. Like, also, like, good for him to be popular enough to make a guy do a Make-A-Wish for you. Like,
Yeah. Well, I can't remember if it was actually Make a Wish, but.
Well, it's still it's still like the same idea.
Yeah.
Same basic idea. So
Exactly.
it's kind of like calling it a Kleenex when it's not actually a Kleenex.
I don't do that.
You don't. So
It's
you
just
will
you.
only call them Kleenexes when they're Kleenex trademark name brand tissues.
No, I just always refer to it as a tissue. Like, can I have a tissue?
Are they flying discs? Are they flying discs as well? Gelatin?
I don't eat gelatin.
Oh yeah, it's not vegan. I forgot.
So that's not. Let me think.
Do you call them flying
I
discs?
I probably will say Band-Aid though. I do instinctively say Band-Aid just because I don't know, it feels easier to say than bandage.
Well, bandage also has a different connotation, where bandages are like hospital bandages, and a band-aid is like a little thing you put on a boo-boo,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I do not say drugs by brand names, but that's partly because I'm a chemist, and it's good to know things by their generic names. So like, I don't say like, do you need an Advil? I'm like, do you need an ibuprofen? And then people look at me funny because they don't know what that is.
Well,
Drives
most of
me
the people
crazy?
I know
Can I just-
know ibuprofen, but what's the brand name, the chemical name for Tylenol?
Oh, Tylenol? Oh, that's the one I was going to rant about. I think it's in Europe. It's called paracetamol, but in the US it's acetaminophen.
Why does it have two different fancy science names?
I don't know. It shouldn't. The whole point of this system is it should only have one name. I think one of them is like an old name. Let me look this up actually. Acetaminophen. For the record, don't like, acetaminophen's not a very good drug. Don't use it. Yeah, it's got two names, paracetamol or acetaminophen. Acetaminophen is the name generally used in the United States and Japan. Paracetamol is used in international venues.
So is it a different drug in
No,
Europe?
it's the exact same drug. It is the exact same drug chemically. It just has two names for no good reason.
Oh, you know what? It's probably some sort of bullshit licensing kind of.
No, it's
or
not.
Copyright
This is
thing.
a generic name. This is a generic name.
Oh, it is?
The generic name has nothing to do with licensing.
Oh,
The brand name is Tylenol. It's like how in the UK, they don't call it aluminum, it's aluminium. It's just a name thing. It's just like that one country adopted a certain name for it and another country adopted another name.
Wait, they pronounce aluminum.
They spell it and pronounce it aluminium. There's an
Wow,
extra
that's
I.
dumb. That's dumb. Man, you Europe people are stupid.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. There's enough elements that end in and there's enough elements that end in just that.
Well, it's a suffix, so that's how you know that it's like an element. It's the same.
Well, it's mixed because you've got like gold and which is aurum. But then
gold
you've got
gold was
thallium.
gold was named gold before people knew it was an element, though. Is probably the big thing there. Like gold, iron, stuff like that. Those have more base names probably because like those were stuff that people used before like science was a big thing. So that makes sense. But when it comes to stuff that was like made, like discovered by the time that they were naming things sciencey, like that's why it's like named that way and shit.
No.
Hey,
I love to hear you BS science stuff because you don't know what you're talking about, and it's adorable.
That was a relatively decent educated guess.
No, that was so bad. Okay, sodium. You know how old sodium is.
Okay, but did they name it? They didn't. They named it salt. It's salt. Most people just call it salt.
No. It's actually in the UK. I don't know if in the UK they call it natrium or if that's another old name, but at least it used to be that sodium was called natrium in certain countries, which is why the chemical symbol is Na for sodium on the periodic table.
Yeah, but gold is even older than sodium. Well, not like the element is older, but like gold is money, and money makes the world go round. So yeah.
Well, salt used to be money, so.
Salt. So much salt.
So much salt. In before PS salt.
No, people were posting the salt icon in the chat. I took a glance at it during the loading screen.
Is your chat ahead of mine?
It might be. Refresher page.
All right, because I just saw salt now.
Yeah, because you know what? Refresher page. That'll probably.
Okay, I did. It's loading.
I thought that was a relatively decent, educated guess, for the record.
You suck at science.
No, you suck at Kirby 64. Shut up.
I do. Should we tell about? Yeah. So I had issues defeating the orca.
No, we already told them. No, we already told them about that.
No, but we didn't tell them about how the game didn't save that I beat him the last time Ted and I the penultimate time Ted and I hung out. So the last time we hung out, I had to beat him again.
I don't even know what happened because I'm sure we saved the game, or the game should have saved itself. Is probably the more accurate way to say that. So
yeah.
Like I don't know what was going on, but
I had to beat the orca again. It wasn't nice.
You were
not nice.
You just needed to attack more often. You would spend like 5 minutes with a projectile ready and go like and dance around it instead of getting an attack in because you're a wuss.
Yeah, I am.
That's not something to say with pride, Missy.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, now you're just trying to be difficult.
Yeah, I am.
Whatever. What you doing?
Watching the chat. Oh. Someone wants to know who we'd rather have in Smash, Shovel Knight or Shantae.
I don't know. People are talking about that more often now because the ballot's about to close. I don't know. I don't think either is going to be in Smash Brothers. Like, here's the thing. Shovel Knight's probably not going to be in Smash Brothers because he's getting his own amiibo, which, that's great, but they would have done the Smash Brothers amiibo and not have released his normal amiibo first. Like, that just makes more sense to me. And Shantae, like, I love Shantae. I don't want to shit-talk Shantae at all, but I think her chances of being in the game are extraordinarily low. Um, don't get me. I love Shantae. Shantae is one of my favorite indie characters, but like, oh shit, what did I just
What
drop?
did you just knock over?
My
I
DK,
could hear them.
my DK bongos.
Oh no, not the bongos.
Okay,
Can
hold
you
on.
play this game with bongos?
No, but you can actually play any GameCube game with bongos actually. Well, like play is in really really kind of like big quotation marks there, but like the bongos are accepted as inputs for a whole bunch of other games, not just the DK bongos. It's kind of like trying to play a game with the DDR pad, and it's hilarious. I think they have videos of people playing Smash Brothers with the bongos. It's funny. So yeah.
Um, speaking of Shantae, someone asked about your thoughts on Half Genie Hero since the demo came out a while ago.
Oh no, the demo was good. The big thing about it that was interesting to me was that you could only have one dance at a time in the demo. Like there were 3 playable areas. Oh man, the Elgato's really far behind. I'm gonna fix. Well, I have to let Ganondorf kill me anyway, so I'll just fix that while he does
Okay.
that. Anyway, um, the the thing is that there were 3 playable areas in the demo. One of which was just kind of like a slidey kind of mini game sort of section. So in the 2 main areas, you can only ever switch to one thing at a time. So there was a level where you could play as the monkey dance, and there was a level where you had the new crab dance, and you could only ever use that dance in that area. So I'm wondering if that's gonna be a thing in the actual game, like for a chapter, because they said the game was going to be chapter based already. So it's like, do you get the monkey for one chapter and the crab for a different chapter, and so on and so forth. That's the only thing. Other than that, though, the game looks beautiful. The graphics are gorgeous. Um, it controls just like the other Shantae games. So, yeah. I mean, we've seen very little of it, to be perfectly honest. But I'm excited. I'm really glad that I pledged to that. Because, when you compare it to another Kickstarter that happened to be funded around the same time. As a matter of fact, within days of each other. Half Genie Hero seems to have an awful lot higher quality standards than said other Kickstarter game that you all probably know I'm referring to. For those who don't, it's Mighty Number 9. Have you, Catherine, have you seen footage of Mighty Number 9? Because
No.
the game's graphics look like, I don't want to say PS2 era, but to be honest, it gets pretty damn close at point. Like I'm sure the game plays okay, but it's a very disappointing looking product, so I'm glad that I didn't pledge too much, I guess, is the thing. I only pledged enough to get a copy of the game, so I'm glad that I did that instead of pledging like whatever, like hundreds of dollars on that thing. So yeah. You don't have very much interest in the game as a whole, though, but
No.
I just find it funny that, like, oh my gosh, the only good Kickstarter ended up being kind of shit. So, yeah. And I said only good Kickstarter mockingly. There are lots of good Kickstarters. Blah, 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 covering my ass, blah.
Yep.
Yep. Anybody misbehaving themselves in the chat?
Not more than normal.
Okay. Anybody have any questions in the chat?
Haven't seen anything recently. Someone asked why you won't watch Kill la Kill.
I have very little interest. That's basically just it. Like, I don't care, and I know that
Yeah,
it's just like
I've heard very mixed things about it, tending towards the people I heard talked about it in a way that made me think, yeah, I'm not gonna like this show.
I mean, I've already watched Gurren Lagann, and from everything I've heard, it's just kind of a not as good version of Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what was the studio behind Gurren Lagann. Oh, it was
It's the same.
Gynax.
It's the same people, isn't it?
No, well, okay, let me finish. Some people from Gynax left and made Studio Trigger, and Studio Trigger made Kill la Kill. So yes, like a lot of people
Oh,
working
so
on it
it's
did come from
it's
Gurren Lagann's
it's
cast.
they're the concept of anime. They left their bigger publisher to go make a different version of the same show they already made. Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yes. Oh, concept. Oh, okay. You mean
Concept.
concept? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Um, yeah. All I know is in Gigax, what do you call it? His year of anime recap.
Oh, the saving
showed that-
anime.
No, there was the part where he showed this weird, really creepy thing between like what's her face and her mom, and I was just like, what's going on here? I don't think I like this. I don't think I like where the show is going. I draw a line.
But no, that was one of the jokes in his year, and this is like saving anime. Wasn't that one of them?
Yeah, I think that was like, I think Kill la Kill was like a winter show, so part of it had come out before at the end of 2014, and then, or he like kind of split it up the way he covered it. So there was part of it where he was like, because that was the whole thing. People were like, oh my gosh, Kill la Kill is saving anime because it's like new and interesting and awesome. And then people were like, yeah, it didn't. Someone, you should have heard, one of the people on Podtaku got so mad about Kill la Kill. He hated it. He loved Gurren Lagann and just hated Kill la Kill.
Gurren Lagann's a really good show. So.
But the funny thing was, he was just like, Gurren Lagann was such a deep show, and Kill la Kill is just so stupid. And everyone's just like, no, Gurren Lagann was not really that deep.
No, Gurren Lagann was a stupid show, but it also reveled in its own stupidity. Well, that was the big thing. Like, it knew what it was trying to do. This is the show where, like, by the end, he's riding a mech that's riding a mech that's riding a mech that's riding a mech that's the size of a planet. Or something to that effect. So, the show knew it was dumb. But, yeah, but Kill la Kill, like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate all the fan service, because, like, boobs are nice. But, you know, if I wanted to see boobs, I can also, like, put on porn. So, that's the big thing that I never got about fan service in shows. Like, it's just like, oh, great boobs. I mean, I can watch those on the internet for free nowadays, but having them in your show is nice, I guess. Like, it just doesn't make much sense to me to appeal to sex when you can get sex literally whenever you want. It's not like you have to go to a sketchy porn shop anymore. Like, everybody's got a computer, so.
Yo, I think that is honestly one of the issues I had with Seikon no Quasar. I think it would have been better if they just made it a hentai. Because there was one scene in particular, I think it was I showed you a few episodes of it, right? And you like probably lost a bunch of brain cells because it's so stupid. There's a later episode where Mafuyu, the main girl with the red hair and the disappointing breasts, according to Sasha, she's in like of course, she's in the nurse's office on the bed, and this other girl like basically starts like coming on to her and like climbing all over her. and then something happens, and they, you know, like right before it's about to get really hot, it just stops. And I'm just like, I really wish this was just a hentai. It would have been more enjoyable.
And well, at least like again, like when it's just straight up porn, you have lower standards.
Exactly.
So
the animation would have been good if for hentai, the animation would have been great.
Yeah, but I don't think there's any porn series that lasts like a full like 26.
24 episodes. That's the best part. The Seikon no Quasar got 24 episodes and a second season. I haven't watched the second season.
Why haven't you watched the second season since this is like your favorite show?
I don't hate myself that much. I hate myself.
You watched all of Bible Black.
I did not watch all of it. There's more that I haven't watched.
You watched the entire TV series.
Granted, well, I don't know if I call it a TV series. They don't air this on normal television, for the record, I think.
You watched the entire thing.
Yeah. That was to say I did.
You should LP the Bible Black video game.
Someone get it for me. I don't know. I don't even know where to get it.
The internet.
I don't even know if you can buy it on Amazon. I don't even know if I could run it on my computer.
You could probably find it on PlayAsia, maybe.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be expensive.
Oh yeah, PlayAsia's like everything on PlayAsia's like a good $20 at least overpriced, but like you could get it there.
All I'm seeing are DVDs. I'm looking on
You should buy the Bible Black DVDs.
Why would I want to watch it again? I can just watch it on the internet.
You should buy the DVDs.
Someone in the chat. She watched Bible Black. Yes.
You clearly haven't been here before. Welcome, newbie, to the Hyrule Warriors Grindfest. We talk about porn a lot.
Bible Black video game. Okay, so Bible Black was originally a visual novel, and then it was adapted into an anime. You know, like other awesome shows like Clannad and Canon and F, A Tale of Memories. You know how those shows were all adapted from visual novels? Well, sometimes they don't even bother censoring out the naughty bits and they just make a porn out of it. But yeah.
Well, those shows also, like, from what you've told me, and again, this is going off of your word here, but those shows are also, like, trying to not just be about boobs. And Bible Black is clearly just about being boobs, but it's trying to pretend that it's not, so...
Okay, yeah. Here's the problem about Bible Black. And I'm not going to get into, like, the parts that have anything to do with the content, because that's completely subjective. I'll just say, personally, there were things that crossed the line for me in that show. Like, very much so.
You mean like how every sex scene is a rape scene?
I was not going to talk, like, I seriously wasn't going to talk about that.
Okay.
That's a little...
Yeah.
People. My issue is that Bible Black is a hentai. Like, a hentai is basically just porn in animated form. The problem is Bible Black is also trying to tell a story. Now, there's porn that has a little bit of story to, like, set the characters up or whatever. No,
hey there, I hear that you have some pipes that need cleaning. Bow now. No, why am I using the dangerous music as porn music? I don't even know.
The issue with Bible Black is it's trying to tell a story about Satanism and black magic and someone making a deal with the devil and needing a human sacrifice. And this stuff is not generally erotic and is even less erotic when you have exposition scenes where they talk about this.
Hey. Speak for yourself, okay? Okay, never mind. I can't even force that.
No, someone said comparing Clannad to Bible Black. No, I'm just saying that they're both based on visual novels. The difference is one of them is a good visual novel and one of them is a trashy visual novel.
This mask is so goddamn stupid.
I love the mask. Yeah, I do need to watch Clannad. I've heard that's a really great show, and someone in the chat really likes it too.
Somebody said it kind of sucks.
Oh, yeah, I see that. I thought you weren't watching the chat.
Well, I had just died, so I glanced at it.
Oh, okay. I was just confused.
Okay, it's all right. I understand that your brain doesn't have room for much else since you waste so much of it on science, but it's okay. I'm here for you for these things.
What I think I've heard that... Oh, they said they didn't like After Story. I've always heard people love Clannad After Story, because Clannad After Story is basically like what happens with the couple years after they become a couple. Because in a lot of romance shows, it's all about that moment when they get together, and then the show normally ends.
Yeah, that's...
It's not about...
Well, that's the sexy point. Like, that's the only gush romantic point. And it's also the only point that most of the virgin audience can imagine because they haven't even gone that far. But, you know, there aren't an awful lot of story. I think that's actually a good idea, too, because there aren't an awful lot of stories about people in a relationship. There's just a lot of stories about people falling in love. And, you know, that's great and all, but I think, like, there's so much room to explore in stories about a relationship.
And that's what Clannad does. Like, the after story. I haven't seen it. This is just what I've heard. Is that it goes into like what's all this like navigating starting a household with the person you fell in love with
Is
and getting a job.
question, is this a game or the anime?
I know the anime definitely. The the visual novel I'm not sure about.
Okay, is the visual novel one of those visual novels where you get to end up with the girl you pick? Cause
I think so.
so I guess there must just be the anime picked a girl, then for the after story thing.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think the after story, like an extended prologue talking about like the relationship you ended up choosing, I think that has a lot of potential in your traditional best girl visual novel kind of thing. Like that has a lot of potential for being both really sweet and really tragic and really haunting and all sorts of different things. So, yeah. Is there a cat girl in Clannad?
I don't think so. It's pretty.
Worst visual novel ever, 0 out of 10.
There's no cat girl in Phoenix, right? Ba-ba-ba-ba.
Shit, no, I can't even think of a character. There really aren't any characters even with a cat motif. Damn it.
Oh, nope.
There's a new game coming out. We still have time.
Yeah. Make it happen, Capcom.
Okay, so we're more than halfway done with Darunia. Actually, now that I'm looking at his levels, we're at level 230, so we've got 25 levels to go. So sweet. Are you happy now? We're using Darunia.
Yeah, I'm so happy. So is Darunia. Look how happy he is.
He just looks kind of like. That's his expression right now.
Oh, someone asked what we think of Death Note. You haven't seen
I
it,
haven't
right?
seen Death Note. I know you have a lot of opinions on Death Note, so I'm just gonna let you talk.
Okay. All right. I like Death Note. I watched it. I watched part of it when it first came out. Because that was when I was pretty involved in the anime club at my high school. Before my life became ballet and AP tests. So I liked Death Note a lot. I think I saw like I saw about the first half when I was in high school, and then I watched the whole thing again years later. The first half is definitely the best. The
That's what
second
most people
half,
say, right? The first half is
yeah.
the best.
The second half, things that happen in the second half kind of needed to happen because I get why they didn't want Light to win. They couldn't let him win because that sends the wrong message. So they had to think of a very convoluted way to take him down. The problem is nobody really liked the people they chose to take him down, and it was a mess.
I'm
They were
sorry.
just
I'm sorry. I'm laughing, but Darunia's victory animation with this goddamn mask is ridiculous and stupid.
Is he dancing?
Yeah, he's dancing, but the game does close-ups to his face with the goddamn mask on, and it's just.
Ah!
Yep.
Sorry, I'm just seeing it now. Oh my gosh. You love it, you know you do.
No, not really. Oh, I glanced at the chat again. People are wondering why I only just won a mission. Guys, I'm losing on purpose to save my EXP potion. When I win, it's actually a mistake. So, yeah.
um but
But
yeah, so I was gonna say, finish saying about Death Note. I still like it. I still really enjoyed it. I think the animation's great. I just really enjoyed the show. It probably suffers from the whole like overhype factor, but I'd still suggest watching it if you haven't seen it and if you're interested in like very psychological anime. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Sure. I really only know the basics of Death Note. He takes a potato chip and eats it. Oh!
Oh yeah.
Best scene in anime.
That was That was something, all right. Someone asked my opinion on Monster Musume. I don't know what that is.
I got nothing.
Oh, to finish installing your stupid Apple update, you need to restart your computer. No. Sometimes I hate iTunes.
iTunes is a terrible music player. Like the only
It's
reason.
just it's just the most convenient one.
No, it is because it's the only one that'll pair with Apple products, unless if you do some severe like modding. Maybe not modding, but like you have to work really hard to
There's
get
a
it better.
term for it that it's like homebrew, except I don't know if anyone calls it homebrew.
Yeah, but it's just you have to work really hard in order to get a better music player to sync to your iPod, and that's really not worth the time. But
Yeah.
so I just try to avoid updating my. Well, actually, my phone now I can just plop music files into it, and they're just there, which is great. But when I had my an iPod, an actual iPod, um, I avoided trying to update its song list as much as possible. So I'd buy like 3 albums on iTunes before I'd actually sync them to my iPod.
Well, I
So
was just trying to open up iTunes so I could cause I heard Podtaku is back, so I wanna download the new podcasts.
haven't they been gone for like 6
Yeah,
months?
they took like a 6-month hiatus.
Why'd they do that?
Life, I presume. I mean, like,
But they're
Holden.
anime fans. They don't have a life.
Well, actually, so out of the 4 main people, I know Jean was studying to be a nurse, I think. So I mean, if you're preparing for nursing school, that's like pre-med light. Like that's a lot of work. Or if
Yeah.
she was actually doing nursing school, that's a ton of work.
Okay, granted.
And Holden actually is in college, and he's actually doing, I forget if it's a semester or a year study abroad program in Japan. He studies animation, but he's actually doing like a Japanese culture language program because I mean he already knows how to animate, so I think it's just a good experience. Did it download it? Oh, good, it's downloading it. Wait, okay. Sorry, I was just checking on iTunes. And then Giguk, I think, got a full-time job. And not Holden, Tristan has been, I think he's been doing pretty well for himself with his review channel. He did a Patreon, and he's getting a pretty decent monthly income from that.
Yeah. So okay, well, I know you really like them, so I'm glad for you.
Yeah.
And whatever. Are they gonna talk more about hentai or what?
I hope so. Oh my gosh, I loved Mentaku, where they just talked about hentai.
Was there any woman in a mentaku?
No, Holden crashed Femtaku, I'm convinced, because he didn't trust Jean to run the podcast by herself. Because Jean was the main member. It was Jean and also a couple of their kind of guests. They're kind of like Brain Scratch in that there's a main crew, and then there are guests that they have. But there's always at least one member of the main crew. The difference between them and Brain Scratch is more for a lot of some of the podcasts, well, a fair number of the podcasts, not all 4 of the main crew members are there.
Yeah, I think we have been talking about doing stuff with like maybe like just like 2 or 3 of us or one of us and other people more often, but that's like something that's just kind of like a we've been talking about it kind of thing.
You heard it here first, people.
It just makes more sense. We can get more videos out if we don't all have to meet up at the same time,
That's true.
So
yeah, Rose Nakahara pointed out that wasn't Holden, that was Holdina. Holden got a sex change temporarily.
that seems incredibly cost inefficient.
It was pretty funny because Holden just was like, "Hi guys." He did not talk like that for the whole thing, thankfully. That would have been really grating. But yeah, Mentaku was just the men.
Okay, but anyway, okay, next week we're going to do a Grindfest where we don't talk about porn, even
Why?
once,
Why would we do
because We need to hold ourselves to a higher standard.
I have no standards.
Well, I mean, that does make sense because you're a chemistry major.
Shut up. Should I read the thing? Should I explain
You
the
should
thing?
you should read the thing.
All right. So the other day I was doing what I normally do when I have nothing better to do on a Saturday morning, which is looking up fan fiction. And I happened upon a fan fiction that was described as, from Phoenix Wright, that was described as the infamous English fill. So here's the story. Apparently what happened was someone put Apollo Justice Ace Attorney fan fiction, which appears to be badly written in its original incarnation. They put it through a Japanese to English translator thing, like something like Google Translate. So that's bad enough. It didn't do a very good job. But it also, for some reason, translated every instance of German. So every instance of Clavier's name is translated to a piano.
Read some of the choicier bits.
All right. I'm not gonna read all of it because it's pretty long, and also somewhat explicit.
Do it.
Okay, hold on. Apollo and a piano were shopping at a grocer. I run our German gentleman frames. We are already outside the cabbage. Apollo blushed at a nickname and nodded. Yes, I used all that up in bento. When he thought about the dish, Jesus Christ, with his good small forehead, a piano smiled. By the way, Apollo stopped to be a lawyer so that he could be a housewife of a piano.
I mentioned this to you the other day, but I kind of want somebody to take the Leave It to Beaver intro and plaster Apollo's face over everything of June Cleaver, and over the dad just plaster a grand piano over his head, and then make the kid like Trucy or something.
I love so what happened was this was posted on a live journal thing. And then someone posted it in like the comment section. Someone posted this, and then they posted a comment under that. Oops, ignore this. And then someone else was like, no, I can't ignore this. What is this? And then someone was like, this makes me keep imagining Apollo actually talking to a piano instead of clavier.
A piano, Ace Attorney.
Oh my gosh. Someone wants it linked in the chat. Should I do it?
Do it. Let them
right.
let them experience it for themselves.
Oh my gosh. It's so bad. It also refers to a character I won't name. Yeah, it does kind of have apologists to spoilers. I don't know. Whatever.
Not really, since you figure out a thing.
You figure out that like in 10 minutes.
You figure that out pretty early on, so it's not the most
but
spoilery.
It refers to a certain character defrosting his pants. I don't know what that was supposed to mean.
Getting a boner? Probably.
I don't know. It's so bad. You know, I think you were the one who said, at least it shows that even the Japanese don't write good fan fiction all the time. Like, even Japanese fan fiction is bad.
No, but okay, here's the thing. We kind of have this like expectation here that the Japanese are just better at everything video game related than we are. Like, for example, Splatoon, everybody's like, "Oh, the Japanese players are out," and like they get all nervous. They're just people like us. They're not any better or worse than us. Case in point, Mario Maker. I've played an awful lot of really god-awful levels made by Japanese people. They really seem to think that killing you at the beginning of the stage is funny. So, you know, yeah, they're not inherently better than us. So, yeah. just gonna get that off my chest. Oh god, there are so many bad Mario Maker levels. There are so many bad Mario Maker levels. And I'm not even at the point where I have to play on Expert 100 Mario Challenge in order to get costumes. When I get to that point, I'm gonna be crying. Oh god. But yeah, we never had a topic. Whatever. Okay, so
No, I just wanted to share the glory that is wonderfully English piano. I don't know what's going on in this fanfic.
so okay, I have a question. In your twisted Apollo Clavier fantasies, would Apollo become a housewife to a piano?
Yeah, every time, man. It's the best kind of fanfiction. Apollo X piano. OGP.
How would they have sex if a piano is just literally like a plank of wood with some strings inside?
I saw something just today. Someone had their avatar, and it was Clavier doing the air guitar, and Apollo doing like the face, like but they positioned it so it looked like Clavier was grabbing Apollo. It was the most hilarious thing.
Remember, kids, if someone touches you in a place or in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's no good.
I should have saved. No, I did save it. It's just on my lab computer. Did I tell you once that my professor was by my desk, and when I was flipping to something on my computer, my folder full of goofy photos came up for like 2 milliseconds? I was just like, oh crap.
Did he see?
I don't know. He didn't say anything.
To be honest, you're probably not the only one with something like that on their computer, though.
I'm probably the one with the most bizarre something like that, but I'm sure everyone has something on their computer.
Yeah. Earlier today, I went to Court Records and I saved a whole bunch of Ace Attorney sprites for future reaction gifs.
Oh yeah, I wanted to do a reaction gift to your Edgeworth, but I was on my iPod. So I would have done just the Apollo. That's
Okay.
one of my favorites.
Hold on a moment. I gotta react.
Oh no, I was gonna do Apollo sheepishly like messing with his bangs.
Yeah. Hold on a moment. I gotta add the Elgato back because it's really far behind again. I can't wait. Next week is BSC payday. I can't wait until I can afford an AverMedia. That'll be great. So then, yeah. So this is using the Elgato for streaming is going to be a short-lived thing, guys. I'm going to be upgrading to an AverMedia as soon as it's financially and like viable. And then we will get a much smoother streaming experience if John is to be believed. And most of the time he's not full of bullshit. So, you know, yeah. Oh yeah, did you guys know that Catherine can stream now? Gasp.
Yeah, I have. Oh yeah, someone was asking if I would stream again. The answer is potentially. There's 2 things. Number 1, I think Ted and I just kind of want to finish, like at least I just kind of want to finish Hyrule Warriors at this point.
It's never gonna end.
And
it's never gonna. You do realize that we're gonna start this back up as soon as Legends starts and we get the new characters, right?
Not right away. But it's also I just don't have a ton of time right now. But yeah, Ted was kind enough to give me let me adopt his poor hoppage that he abandoned for Elgato. But yeah, I have
no, it was not an abandonment. Little do you know, when I was giving that hoppage to you, the scene from Sonic Adventure Chow Garden when you let a Chow go started playing in my brain. So.
Oh yeah.
The music gets so sad, and you see the Chow with the little traveler sack, and yeah. Yeah.
Oh, someone said that as far as they know, the problems with Elgato are only with XSplit. So have you tried using OBS with your Elgato?
I don't know how OBS works. like XSplit is a piece of shit, but at least it's easy to understand for the most part is the big thing. So, and for the Nintendo-thon, I did buy the license for a year, so it is better quality for at least a little while. So I figure if I bought the license, I'm going to use it. Is another big thing because otherwise it's a waste of money, and I don't want to feel like I wasted anything. So yeah, I do have
Oh
OBS
yes.
downloaded though.
Um, someone asked my opinion on JoJo. I haven't seen any of it. I honestly, I have really no opinion. I know a lot of people really like it. I don't know a lot about it.
All I know is
It's a
that
big series.
I know it's a shonen, and I know you're not a super into shonen type stuff. So I'm not sure how much it would really appeal to you. It also looks like an inherently kind of dumb show. Like not dumb in the sense that it's bad, but like it's again like I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and say it's a Gurren Lagann kind of thing where it's trying to be dumb. So I don't think that it might not really be your thing. So
I wouldn't judge a book by its cover because I mean like even just think like because we've been talking about Ace Attorney, like Ace Attorney starts off as a very goofy series, but it gets very serious at points.
everybody, well, the thing is, everybody I've talked to about JoJo just kind of gave me the impression that it's kind of like that the entire way through. But again, I haven't watched it either, so I could be wrong. So yeah, but no, Ace Attorney. Part of what I like about Ace Attorney is that it knows when to be funny and when to when to play up the drama. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So, because you can have a series be inherently comedic and still have tension and stakes, which is, I think, something that a lot of people tend to mistake for. Like, for example, I know I wasn't gonna I know I shouldn't say this. I know I shouldn't bring this up, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Sonic Adventure
Oh
2.
no.
People say that Sonic Adventure 2 is dark and edgy, and these people haven't looked at the script for Sonic Adventure 2 in a while because there's a lot of jokes in Sonic Adventure 2. Like, say what you will about the execution of the script. That's subjective, but they've got plenty of moments that are supposed to be lighthearted even during the parts that are supposed to be the most serious, like in the arc. Like, for example, Knuckles taking over the goddamn shuttle and causing it to crash into this to the space colony, or you guys always leave me alone and have all the fun, and Eggman going on a tantrum and all that. So there's a difference between having stakes and having tension and being dark and edgy. Which is, now that I'm thinking about it, my point isn't really related to the conversation we were just having, but I wanted to get it off my chest. So yeah.
I like the Chow Garden better in Sonic
Oh well,
Adventure
no,
2.
they like I'm not big on the Chow Garden, but it's just objectively better in Adventure 2. So there's more options. There's more options, more games. It's just better. So yeah.
I like that you get the Chaos Drives in Sonic Adventure 2, so you can give them to your Chow and you can level up their stats without them looking as stupid. I think that's pretty cool.
Catherine, there's a game attached to the Chow Garden.
Huh? Oh yeah, there's Chow Karate and Chow Races. You get 2 games.
No, I mean like there's levels with Sonic in them, and Shadow, and
Oh,
Tails,
you
and
mean the
Knuckles.
places where you farm the animals and Chaos Drives to give to your Chow? Yeah, it's pretty fun.
No,
Yeah.
that's supposed to be the game, like the reason why you play.
I am being completely honest. The reason I bought Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was because my friend had a GameCube and she showed me the Chow Garden and I was like, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I
know
got
I
a
say I
GameCube
know what
and the game.
I say this a lot. Catherine, you're such a girl. Like, I know I'm not trying to be like sexist, but like you're being kind of a stereotype right now, I'm not gonna lie. Like, no, Sonic Adventure 2 was a game I got 2002, I think, my 9th birthday. It was one of the best birthday gifts I ever got, honestly. Like, I play that game so much. I love Adventure 2, guys. Like, it's a very good game, I think. So, yeah. And I'm just kind of getting sick of people saying it's awful. Because if honestly, like, I'm not trying to shit talk people, but if you think that Sonic Adventure 2 is awful, you have obnoxious standards, in my personal opinion. So yeah, you see, if you
You know what I
say,
think is
Catherine,
awful?
what is awful?
Spyro into the Dragonfly.
Oh my
That
gosh,
game
you should
that game
Let's Play Spyro
sucks.
Enter the Dragonfly.
Will you buy it for me?
I offered to at either at PAX.
I don't think you offered to. I think you encouraged me to buy it.
No, you didn't buy. You said
And,
you would have bought it anyway, but it was the PS2 version and not the GameCube version.
no, it was the GameCube version, not the PS2 version.
Oh, I thought you wanted the GameCube version.
No, because the reason I wouldn't, well, the reason I say it like no is because I originally played it on the PS2, and Spyro has always been a PlayStation associated series for me. I want to feel that DualShock in my hands and cry.
I don't like the feeling of the DualShock controller. Like, I don't think it fits in my hands comfortably.
I don't like the feeling of you.
Okay, well,
That was an awful
you
insult.
don't have to say it like that. Okay, like that really hurts my feelings.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh.
Uh,
Someone said, "Don't bring up Enter the Dragonfly, please."
but interest.
Okay, guys. Yeah, we talked about hentai and Bible Black and Apollo becoming the housewife of a piano, but Enter the Dragonfly, that's too far. Too much.
And well, seriously though, like you should play Enter the Dragonfly. Maybe it's not as bad as you remember.
No, well, the thing is, I'm pretty sure I got one of the first print copies, and those were buggier than, like, the second print. They smoothed out a couple bugs, I think. Like, when I say bugs, I mean the fact that the game would, freeze on loading screens.
Oh wait, so
Or
you
just,
had
like,
to you had to buy a whole nother version of the game just to get a patch? Wow. Way to go.
I mean,
Jeez.
that's how things worked in the PS1, PS2 era.
Well, no,
Like, a
yeah.
lot of games did that, where they,
Oh
they
no, a
had...
lot of games did do that. Like even like Ocarina of Time has two versions where I think the later version changed like a song for, I believe it was the Fire Temple, because they had a
Oh,
kind of chanting in the temple, I think it was, and it was questionably racially insensitive, I think is what it was. So they
yeah.
took it out. So that's not a new thing. But
Yeah.
nowadays they can
Because
just patch
I
it.
remember I heard about, like, with Spyro 3, which is one of the good ones. Um, in the first print, there was a level select code and a cutscene select code that you could do from the pause menu, and those the Insomniac meant to take them out of the game, but they accidentally got left in somehow. But they removed that for the later printings
Well, it
because
makes
it was probably a reasonable thing to take out. I mean.
yeah. Well, they probably left it in the game for testing purposes so that they
Oh yeah,
could go to.
that is exactly why it was in there. One of the guys, actually one of the lead people at Insomniac Games, Brian Hastings, I believe it was pretty active on a Spyro fan site. Um, that has really good tips and tricks for the first three Spyro games, like for the tricky parts of the games. You know, it's not like a walkthrough, but has tips on some of the trickier parts and a lot of cheat codes and stuff. And almost all the cheat codes in Spyro are just like fun things. I think there's a 99 live one, but most of them are just for fun things like, turn Spyro different colors, big head mode, things like that. And Brian Hastings told them about the fact that they meant to take out the level select code after like at the end of like debug or whatever, and they forgot or it didn't go through. I mean, it's probably like any kind of editing process where like one person makes a change and then someone else makes a change elsewhere on the thing, and somehow the first change didn't go through. I mean, that happens with any kind of team project. I'm sure it's the same for game development.
So, Catherine, we are one mission away, give or take, from getting to max level with Darunia. So, I have fun doing these. So, would you like to do a rapid fire question round?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna start in. Well, we're gonna wait like another 10 seconds so that the chart, so that the. Actually, just yell into the chat, rapid fire question round, go, and then we'll start. Okay? 3, 2, 1, go! No, I'm gonna keep on going. Oh, until a question happens. Go. Oh,
Can you stop
oh.
that?
Okay. Well, no. Do we have a question?
Yeah, someone said, how are you guys today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I got a haircut.
Oh yeah.
Who is better, Morgan or Felicia? Isn't Felicia the cat girl?
Oh. I thought you were talking about Fire Emblem for a moment. I don't know Darkstalkers. I'm sorry.
Felicia's cat girl, I think. She's
Oh yeah, she's the cat girl.
yeah. Would April May make for a good cat lady?
She's scary.
Yeah. Have you watched Cowboy Bebop?
I've watched like maybe 5 episodes of Cowboy Bebop.
I have not yet. I want to. Why did you decide to have long hair, Ted?
It just kind of happens, to be perfectly honest.
It just kept growing. If you guys could hang with any lord in the Fire Emblem series, who would it be?
I know Robin's not a lord, but Robin, because he's a boss.
Lynn, because she's a cool girl. Who are your mains in Tekken?
In Tekken, I haven't played enough Tekken to really have a main, but I've felt really comfortable playing as Lily, as Alyssa, as Bob. Those are the first 3 that come to mind. Yeah.
For me, I'd say from Tekken 5, Asuka and Christy.
Oh, I really liked Julia as well. Julia was fun to play. Yeah.
Favorite game from 2015 so far?
From 2015. Oh God, I'm trying to remember. Hold on a moment. This isn't exactly rapid fire, but I'm gonna look at my. Oh God, I'm having trouble remembering what came out this year. To be perfectly honest. Splatoon. Splatoon so far. Is probably number 1, if I had to guess. How about, have you even played anything that came out this year, Catherine?
No comment. How would you describe Sonic Unleashed soundtrack?
Eh.
Someone asked my least favorite game. Bible Black.
You haven't even played that.
Shut up. Honestly, Spyro Enter the Dragonfly.
What did you even do with your copy of that game?
Traded it in for like $2. Hey Ted, have you considered getting partnered on Twitch someday? You have to stream a ton to do that.
I don't have time right now since I'm taking classes.
Yeah, Ted's taking classes full time.
And also, I also like streaming with somebody, and Catherine's too busy to stream with me regularly, and I don't know anybody else who would put up with me this much.
How swag are you?
Between not enough and too much.
I'm fine. That was an Apolojustice joke.
I know, I'm ignoring it.
Someone asked, what's my favorite music genre? The fast answer is, I don't really have a particularly favorite genre. Sorry. When's Senran Kagura?
What about Senran Kagura?
They said when.
I don't.
Do they mean when you're gonna play it?
I have very little interest in Senran Kagura because, as far as I can tell, it's just a standard beat 'em up with a lot of fan service. And again, if I wanted to see fan service, I could just watch porn. So yeah.
Can you please answer this question in DDD's 4Kids voice, Ted?
No. I'm sorry, I'm mean.
So mean. Someone asked me, is SAO the worst anime of all time? No. That honor goes to Corey in the house. When's the BSC World Tour happening?
After you collect the 7 world rings.
What is the meaning of life?
Ask again later.
The meaning of life is give up becoming a lawyer, to be a lawyer so that he could be the housewife of a piano.
Okay, and now in tradition,
Did we just die?
no, we won. But we're like half a level away from leveling up, and I'm not doing another mission for
The
that.
stream just died, Ted.
Oh no, I'm getting a lot of drop frames. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a moment. Um, you know what? I'm like right at the end, so we're gonna just stop.